Apologies for the later than usual post this evening. Holiday weeks being what they are, sometimes we just have to take care of business. But once again, thank you to everyone who has joined us over at the Florida Maquis Patreon page. It's truly amazing and humbling to see so many folks sign up and be a part of what I truly believe is going to be the platform of the future. $1 per month or less than that if you pay for an entire year up front. It's like $10.80, I believe. Also, to everyone who has joined us over at twitch.tv/Florida Maquis, thank you once again. The game is truly an incredible thing to see and to watch. It's also a great place where we can have a discussion and pretty much take the gloves off and talk about whatever we want to while relaxing and just chilling out right before bed. It's a great time to clear the air so that we can start the next day fresh. Also, haven't mentioned Patriot Nurse in a few videos, but I wanted to bring up something that she had recommended a long time ago in one of her videos, and I haven't been able to find it. But she recommended this stuff called Siang Pure Oil. It's Siang, Pure Oil. She refers to it as her Angry Man Oil. And I wasn't really sure about it, but I gave it a try. And this stuff, guys, is literally Ark worthy. If you were going to put together an end of the world pack where you were going to get into an Ark, I would definitely have a little tiny bottle of this stuff because it fixes so many things. Aches and pains, allergies. It'll help with sleep apnea. It's a mixture of camphor and menthol and cinnamon and peppermint and something else. But I tell you what, guys, this stuff is potent. When you get it, it's this tiny little bottle and you think, oh man, I got ripped off. Nothing could be further from the truth. Once again, Siang Pure Oil. There is a video out there that Patriot Nurse talks about this, amongst other things. Definitely worth keeping in your kit. It is good for many other things than what I've mentioned, but those are just a few that have helped me. Now, in today's video, main topic. Genesis, the 6th chapter, the 4th verse. There were giants in the earth in those days. Semicolon. And also, after that, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown. Now, a lot of people like to read through this really fast and equate giants with the sons of God, and some new translations change in the word in to the word on. In literally means, to my mind, in, as in inside the earth. And there is an article out now from Science where, guess what? They have confirmed Middle Earth. Not the Mediterranean, but hollow Earth. Meaning our planet is more like a sponge than it is a solid ball. Now, many people have alleged this over a long period of time, that there is a place, usually hidden inside caves, only way to get there, where there are civilizations living within the planet, underneath the crust. And some people have called this just some flight of fancy, but once again, there's an article now that proves this, and when you look at where they say this is, it lines up with something that we've been talking about at this channel for a long time. The Mayans talked about this. Ancient Asian culture talked about this. European cultures, I've alleged that it's tied to Antarctica. I still believe this. That the deep oceans, inner Earth, Antarctica, they're all tied together. I found this image that someone had created, and I thought it was striking because it resembles something that we found in Antarctica. You see this kind of countryside plain, you've got some houses around, and then you see this, what looks like an old medieval wall. And then inside it, you see this city that has other levels of walls. Well, look in the lower left here. This was a picture that I had pulled from Google Earth Pro. And it literally looks like the exact same thing on the surface of Antarctica, or at least inspired by it. Who knows what might be lying just underneath the surface? I've used this image too. It's a little bit more of a flight of fancy, but once again, isn't that the idea of science? To dream? But what's the article? What has science admitted? Well, a couple months ago, we did a video talking about this strange cave that they had found with these very interesting drawings where they had these concentric circles and there were other smaller ones and arrows pointing different directions, almost as if it was some type of a map to go somewhere. This was just 2 days ago. Wind from Earth's middle layer blows through a secret passage beneath Panama. Now, this is someplace that a lot of people haven't looked, but it's tied to something. They're talking about how different materials all the way from the Galapagos Islands have been found beneath the surface in Panama. Now, real quick, let's take a look at Google Earth Pro and see what they're talking about. I have the globe turned a certain way here so that you can see this clearly. These here are the Galapagos Islands. Panama is right here. Now, satellite imagery shows there's definitely some tie between the Galapagos, Panama, Ecuador, and what looks like some subterranean creation. But when you pull out a little bit and you look farther back, you see something. You have what looks like a tunnel here and what looks like a tunnel here. So when you draw the picture and you go out to where the point of this is, guess what you find? Easter Island. Those of you who were involved in the Pentagon Network discussions will remember this. Now, here's the crazy thing about Easter Island. Why would they create this, pointing a certain direction? And more importantly, why would they have it pointing right at this very strange stand of trees, also shaped like a pentagon? Now, as if this wasn't crazy enough, all this tying together, Easter Island is known for what? It's known for those very cryptic, very strange moai heads. This is another image that I found on the surface in Antarctica. Now tell me, how would the moai, or those who created the statues, have also created statues in Antarctica if there wasn't a way to get back and forth? And we're talking tens of thousands of miles. This image seems like it's not important. It seems like it's nondescript, but it is clearly a carved opening in the side of a mountain meant for transit in and out. This might be the way in. I'm sure there might be hidden ways to get in, perhaps in the mountains in Panama, perhaps in the mountain ranges and other places. But to my mind, if there's going to be evidence that's easy to find, it will be on the frozen surface of Antarctica, because it'll stick out like a sore thumb, much more so than it would in a forest. We've also found this on the surface of Antarctica. Very clearly a disc-shaped craft frozen in ice. And over the years, we've found the Phaistos disc, that nobody can explain, the Voynich manuscript, the Antikythera mechanism, and I believe this giant book is referred to as the Codex Gigax. Now, who would create a book, and this is a great picture because it shows how big it is in relation to a man, a book this size? It would have been created for giants. There are things going on in the world right now that dominate the headlines, but make no mistake, once this is revealed, everything else is going to be forgotten. It will change the world as we know it. And they're already admitting it. We've covered long ago this revelation that nobody paid attention to. Warm Antarctic caves harbor secret life. This was back in 17. So there may come a time when we may have to get back into arcs. And we may have to be prepared for things that we aren't ready for. But just like when Noah stepped out of the ark, a new world awaited. And it wasn't anything like the old world he left behind. All he had to do was obey. So I will leave this there. I'll give you the links to the articles, and I will dig up those old coordinates from Google Earth Pro so you can find them for yourself. It's easy to find if you just take the time to look. So anyway, I will leave it there. There's also some very beautiful places here on the surface that you can go visit, and you'll think that you've walked back in time. This is Brazil. A couple of different images that I just wanted to share. The southern part of Brazil might as well be another planet for all intents and purposes. So, and just to confirm, this is King James Bible. There were giants in the earth in those days, not on, in. So I will leave it there. But get yourself some of this Siang, however that's pronounced, Siang or Siang, pure oil. It'll definitely make a difference. God bless. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time.